Why the first presidential debate of the season may set a big record. Plus, the COVID crisis causes more layoffs. We'll tell you where. And find out where you can now pay with the swipe of your palm. This is OU Nightly. Joining us for OU Nightly, I'm Lindsey Gibbs.
And I'm Mckenzie Gladney. We begin tonight with the first debate in the 2020 presidential race.
Political analysts say we can expect fireworks on the stage, and security experts say they want to make sure conflict doesn't spill over outside into the streets of Cleveland.
Tracy Carlos reports on the security plan.
The barricades are going up. Roads are closing down, and there is a beefed up police presence already in place. Security around the first presidential debate will be tight.
We're not disclosing our security plan, but our plan is to keep the entire city safe.
Hundreds of law enforcement officers will be on the ground to help keep the peace outside as the debate takes place inside. Secret Service and the FBI are involved too. Eric Smith is special agent in charge of the Cleveland division of the FBI.
What May 30th taught us is that peaceful protests can turn a different direction in a very short amount of time. So it is wise and prudent for us to have enough forces on hand and on site to safeguard that in case it does happen.
The FBI has agents on standby, and right now they're working to identify threats.
Right now we're monitoring all streams of intelligence to make sure that individuals that would come in to do something other than peacefully protest that we're monitoring those and that we're taking whatever actions necessary to safeguard the public.
The Ohio National Guard has been activated, and the Highway Patrol will play a role too. Today, in a Facebook teleconference with reporters, the mayor said they are expecting and prepared for protesters to converge on Cleveland. Cleveland Police Chief Calvin Williams says they've learned a lot from the peaceful protests that turned violent in May, and they have plans in place to stop history from repeating itself.
There are a lot of things that were learned, not just from May 30th, but from the subsequent protest activity and other activity around the country that we have incorporated into our planning for this event itself.
Now the audience tonight will be smaller than past debates in light of COVID precautions. Case Western Reserve University says the socially distanced event will include a limited audience of about 70 people. Fox News host Chris Wallace is the moderator. And according to the Commission of Presidential Debates, expected topics will include COVID-19, the economy, and the integrity of the election. But experts say the New York Times report on Trump's tax returns could become a key point.
I wouldn't be surprised if Biden tries to get some leverage on that, tying it back to broader arguments on the economy, and especially the economy under COVID.
It starts at 8 p.m. Central Time and will last 90 minutes with no commercial breaks. And while politics always takes center stage in the presidential race, the first debate is expected to set a few viewing records. Grace Whitten breaks down just how many people are expected to be watching tonight. She continues our team coverage of tonight's debate.
Tonight's debate between President Donald Trump and Joe Biden will definitely be one to remember. Some are expecting the debate to be the most watched in history, more than the 84 million Americans who watched Trump and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in 2016. While debates usually don't affect poll numbers, this year
might be different as 10% of voters are still undecided. Now, COVID case numbers continues to rise in Oklahoma. The Oklahoma State Health Department reports 1,025 new cases today for a total of 13,244 active cases statewide. There are also 11 new deaths reported today, bringing the death toll in Oklahoma to 1,018. In the city of Norman, 24 new cases are reported today, with an estimated 402 active cases in Norman right now. The OU COVID dashboard is a day behind city and state numbers. It shows 243 students and staff are currently in isolation. 59 of those are due to positive COVID tests. The others are due to COVID exposure. And around the world, the coronavirus death toll climbs to a record number. Jessie Klinger has that story and the rest of today's headlines from around the world.
Thanks, Lindsey. The coronavirus death toll has passed 1 million worldwide, according to Johns Hopkins University. The first death was reported in Wuhan, China on January 11th. Now, almost 9 months later, that number has eclipsed 1 million. 20% of deaths have been in the United States, with nearly a total of 211,000. The U.S. is leading in both cases and deaths, with Brazil not far behind. More than 33 million cases have been confirmed worldwide as outbreaks continue to plague numerous countries. Former member of the White House Coronavirus Task Force, Olivia says President Trump pushed the CDC to downplay the risks of COVID-19 when it comes to opening schools.
Told the governors, you need to open the schools. Try to make it seem like everything's okay when in reality it's not. And I think it's because this response has been so broken along the way.
Troy says Trump was insistent on opening schools to try to make his response to the pandemic seem more effective, and she resigned from Pence's staff last month. Starting Thursday. Earlier this year, the federal government bailed out the airline industry. Now 100,000 jobs can potentially be lost later this week. Airline CEOs are making a new plea on Capitol Hill as a last-ditch effort to avoid massive layoffs. A new bill would allow another $28 billion to keep workers on the payroll through next March. However, United Airlines plans to furlough 12,000 employees starting October 1st. And late this afternoon, Disney announced it is laying off 28,000 U.S. workers as the COVID pandemic continues to impact visits to amusement parks around the world. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much, Jessie. Some fall-like weather here on campus.
Yes, that's true. The question is, how long will it stick around? Tyler Pardun joins us now with the first look at the forecast. Tyler?
Yeah, you know what? That cold front really did feel very nice, and actually it came in on Sunday, and you know we're going to get another cold front tomorrow afternoon, but more on that coming up later on in the broadcast. Right now it is 79 degrees at this hour. Winds are out of the west-northwest, blowing at about 10 miles an hour, and that dew point 35 degrees. When you start to see dew points that low, you just know that it's very dry outside, and there's actually the cold front that came in on Sunday. Look, it's already going up towards the eastern seaboard, but like I said, another cold front is coming in tomorrow, but temperatures will be in the 90s. How does that work? You know, my full forecast coming up, and I'll explain everything later on in the broadcast. Guys, I'll send it back.
Okay, thanks, Tyler. By now, most of us are used to wearing masks every day, but doing so may cause a new problem when it comes to skincare. We'll tell you why coming up.
Plus, Amazon innovates a new way to pay. No cards, no phones involved. Find out how it works when OU Nightly continues.
Politics always takes center stage in the presidential race. The first debate is expected to set a few viewing records.
Grace Whitten breaks down just how many people are expected to be watching tonight. She continues our team's coverage of tonight's debate.
Yeah, guys, tonight's debate between President Donald Trump and Joe Biden will be one to remember. Some are expecting tonight's debate to be the most watched in history, more than the 84 million Americans who watched Trump and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton back in 2016. While debates usually don't affect poll numbers, this year might be different, as 10% of voters are still polling as undecided. This is the first of 3 debates scheduled to total before Election Day. We mentioned earlier that Trump's tax returns might become a key point tonight, while Biden
personally released his 2019 tax returns today, just hours before the debate. His returns show that he and his wife paid nearly $300,000 in federal income tax last year. Together, they had an adjusted gross income of around $985,000. Biden's release of his tax returns comes after the New York Times reported that Trump paid no federal income taxes in 10 out of 15 years beginning in the year 2000. And back to the debate, the OU College Republicans is hosting a live bipartisan watch party at Dale Hall in room 131. We did check with the college Democrats. They did not have an organized watch party tonight. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Grace.
And the OU campus in the city of Norman requires masks to be worn at all times for in-person activities, but now some say the precaution is causing a new problem for their skin. OU Nightly's Chloe Sparks breaks down this new reality of maskne.
Wearing a mask has been proven to help prevent the spread of COVID-19, but that's not all they do. Acne and other skin issues are now seen as common problems amongst mask wearers. Social media platforms are bombarded with the question, how can we get rid of maskne? Since returning to school, OU student Kale Reinking is wondering the same thing.
It's killing my skin. I've already been to the dermatologist. They put me on some new stuff for my acne, but still not showing any signs of improvement with wearing these masks 6 hours a day. Today I'll be out there going on about 7 hours, got 4 classes. It's gonna do it to me.
I got the chance to speak to Dr. Doty today over at Dermatologist and Cosmetic Center of Oklahoma. She recommends washing your face with an acne face wash for those suffering from maskne. Other than that, there's not much you can do to prevent it. You can only treat it once it's there.
If they're wearing a cloth mask like mine, the biggest thing is washing their mask every day. Especially for women, we wear makeup, cosmetics, things like that, and it just collects on our mask throughout the day. And so making sure that you wash your mask every day. Disposable, same thing, just making sure that you are changing it frequently throughout.
If you get sweaty walking to class or have a job that results in sweating, Dr. Doty encourages changing your mask multiple times a day to keep that maskne away. Chloe Sparks, Gaylord News, Norman.
And 100% cotton masks are the best for allowing the skin to breathe.
It's time to wave goodbye to payment card machines at stores, literally. While we're not talking about all stores, just check out free Amazon Go stores. Today, the company introduced Amazon One, which lets you pay with a wave of your hand. The new feature connects your palm print to a stored credit card so you can place your hand above a sensor to enter and buy items. Generally, shoppers use a smartphone code to open electronic gates inside the stores. Amazon One is the company's latest effort to speed up shopping. For now, the palm payment will only be available at 2 Amazon Go stores in Seattle and then added to larger cities around the country.
And it happens every year, the Gaylord College Involvement Fair. Find out how it's looking just a little bit different this year.
Tyler, what's coming up next with the weather?
Sunshine and even a little bit more sunshine. When the weather is going to change, my full forecast is coming up. Good afternoon and happy Tuesday to all of you. It is 78 degrees right now at this hour. The winds are out of the west, blowing at about 12 miles per hour. And you look at that dew point. You see a 33 degrees dew point temperature. You know, when you start to see dew points that low, it's really dry outside. And that cold front came through that on Sunday. That really dropped those temperatures and dropped the dew points, making it certainly feel like fall. Here are the temperatures across the board right now. 78 in Norman, 80 in Oklahoma City, 77 out in McAllister, and 76 right now out in Muskogee. So pretty much 80s and upper 70s across the board. Here we have very minimal cloud cover, not much clouds throughout the my apologies. No clouds throughout the state. That's what I was trying to say. That's what I was getting at. So it's a great day today. It's going to be a great day tomorrow as well. But in the morning hours, we'll have a few blasts of some cooler air that will be coming into the region. But once we get into the weekend on Saturday and Sunday, that high pressure building out towards the desert southwest, that'll start to push all of that warmer air into our neck of the woods, keeping us warm as well. But here's the radar forecast overnight tonight. We'll drop down into the temperatures just about mid-50s to even low 50s as well. For tonight, this is about 7 a.m. tomorrow, and that cold front comes through tomorrow afternoon, dropping temperatures from the 90s out into the lower 50s overnight for tomorrow night. And that will be the trend throughout the weekend. We'll see temperatures dropping to about 12 degrees below normal on Friday and 5 degrees below normal for Saturday. So get used to this weather because we're going to be cold front season. We got cold fronts coming in one after the other. That's what happens this time of the year in fall. But tonight we'll drop down 52, 54 in Oklahoma City, 90s for tomorrow. And that full 7-day forecast, yeah, looking very nice. Temperatures in the 90s tomorrow. Cold front comes in. That's the forecast.
Thank you. Today, Gaylord College hosted an outdoor involvement fair for students. The fair took place on the lawn of the South Oval to stay within social distancing guidelines. The fair helps students with getting involved in various activities that interest them within Gaylord College. Unfortunately, the Dallas Stars lost the Stanley Cup Finals last night to the Tampa Bay Lightning.
And the Stars took the L in Game 6 with a score of 0-2. Abbi Bennett is here with a preview of what's to come. Abbi.
That's right, Lindsay. Definitely a tough loss for the Dallas Stars. But stay tuned because OU football is getting ready for a hopeful victory this weekend against Iowa State. Sports is coming up next. I'm Abbi Bennett, and it's time for sports. After a tough loss to K-State on Saturday, this put the Sooners at number 18 in rankings. But sit tight because the Sooners are looking to bounce back against the Iowa State Cyclones this weekend. Last year at the Palace on the Prairie, the Sooners caught the dub 42-41. Kickoff is on Saturday at 6:30 p.m., but right now the Sooners are worried about themselves.
It's been a great week of practice so far. Certainly, excited to see how our team will respond from the first, obviously, true adversity we faced on the field together, and been proud of the way that we've worked, and obviously got a long way to go as a team, but certainly, very, disappointed in the results Saturday, disappointed in a lot of the things we did, excited about a lot of the things we did, and certainly, does not hamper, our team's excitement, our staff's excitement about this team and what this team can be.
Meanwhile, Gaylord students produced our second Sooner sports pad of the fall semester last night. The highlight was a virtual visit from gymnastics star Maggie Nichols. The former OU star talked about winning the prestigious AAI award last spring. It's the Heisman Trophy of college gymnastics.
Hearing my name being announced was just so special to me, especially with the ending that we did have. It was kind of just a light in everything that was going on. So it was incredible and such an honor.
And in case you missed last night's show, you can catch a replay right after our newscast here on OU TV. And later this week, Fox Sports Oklahoma will have several rebroadcasts, including tonight at 9:30 and tomorrow night at 8:30. And sticking with the Sooners, volleyball player Gia Doof has been named Big 12 Rookie of the Week. Doof signed with the Sooners earlier this year and has led the team with 31 kills this last week. The Sooners are on a bye week and will return to action on October 8th at Baylor. And Major League Baseball playoffs are underway as we speak. 6 teams are in action right now, and 2 more are scheduled for tonight. Tomorrow will be a historic day. 8 playoff games will be played for the first time in MLB history. Meanwhile, no more NHL hockey games will be played. Last night, lightning struck, and the Dallas Stars lost 2-0 in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals. It's a sad day for my hometown, Dallas, Texas.
Sad day it is. Thank you so much, Abby.
It's not something you see every day. These firefighters are making history.
Stay tuned to find out how they're breaking glass ceilings.
I'm Olivia Dague at the OU Nightly Update Desk. A recording of the Kentucky grand jury proceeding in Breonna Taylor's trial is set to be released tomorrow. This comes after a grand juror in the case suggested the Attorney General misrepresented the case to the general public. After their complaint in court, the grand juror demanded that transcripts, recordings, and reports be released so the people know the truth.
A rescue team in Florida is making history.
Palm Beach Gardens Fire Rescue formed a team made up entirely of women. The all-female fire and rescue squad was formed the day Justice Ruth Ginsburg passed away.
And Mckenzie, this is something that has never happened at the department since it was established in 1963.
And what an amazing way to make some history. And Tyler is going to give us one last look at the weather.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to be very warm tomorrow. High temperatures approaching 90 degrees. And then a cold front comes in tomorrow night, dropping temperatures into the 70s. And we'll stay that way for quite some time. 68 degrees for a high temperature on Friday, moving up into the mid 70s by the weekend.
All right, thank you so much, Tyler. And thank you for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication, right here on the campus of the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night, live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.
I'm Olivia Dague at the OU Nightly Update Desk. A recording of the Kentucky grand jury proceeding in Breonna Taylor's trial is set to be released tomorrow. This comes after a grand juror in the case suggested the Attorney General misrepresented the case to the general public. After their complaint in court, the grand juror demanded that transcripts, recordings, and reports be released so the people know the truth.
A rescue team in Florida is making history.
Palm Beach Gardens Fire Rescue formed a team made up entirely of women. The all-female fire and rescue squad was formed the day Justice Ruth Ginsburg passed away.
And Mckenzie, this is something that has never happened at the department since it was established in 1963.
And what an amazing way to make some history. And Tyler is going to give us one last look at the weather.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to be very warm tomorrow. High temperatures approaching 90 degrees. And then a cold front comes in tomorrow night, dropping temperatures into the 70s. And we'll stay that way for quite some time. 68 degrees for a high temperature on Friday, moving up into the mid 70s by the weekend.
All right, thank you so much, Tyler. And thank you for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication, right here on the campus of the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night, live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.